Hello beautiful people, welcome to my channel. So for today's video we are starting off barefaced because we're doing a full face of e.l.f. cosmetics, and for the majority I have pretty much everything except for I think maybe one thing. So we're just gonna change it out with another drugstore product. I love doing these full face videos because sometimes you can find some hidden gems throughout these cosmetic lines. So before we get started, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you're notified every time that I upload, and let's just get into it. I feel like I'm always wearing hoodies in my videos, but I'm a comfort queen. I love to just be comfortable. And I got my Dunkin' here. My lovely mother brought me Dunkin'. She knows I love Dunkin'. So first we're going to start off doing the brows. And I'm going to use the e.l.f. Ultra Precise Brow Pencil. I already know I love this, but I actually got a different shade. And I got it in taupe because I do prefer my brows to not be so dark since my hair is lighter. And sometimes with bold eyebrows, they really stick out too much. So we are going to go in with taupe and see how I like this shade. Hopefully I like it. If not, I think I have neutral brown, which will work. It's just a little bit too dark. So I'm just going to start off outlining. My brows need to be done so bad. Oh yeah, this is gonna be a really good color. This feels so creamy than usual. Maybe because I haven't used it in a while, so I'm like, wow. But this looks really, really good. So now I just fill in slightly where I need to, and then do hair-like strokes right here in the front. Sorry if you guys could hear that in the background. I love listening to shows while I'm filming. I don't like it to be so quiet. Just clean it up with concealer, the 16-hour Camo concealer. And I only clean up on the bottom because I'm not trying to get my brows to be super precise or anything. You guys, that brow pencil may just go into rotation with my Milani one because I've been using my Milani one non-stop because I love it. It's so good. Go ahead and blend this out with my e.l.f. Total Face Sponge. You guys know that is my favorite sponge. Okay, so now after brows, I always go in with my eye makeup because I find that if I have any fallout, then I didn't mess up my entire face makeup. They do have a e.l.f. sheer eyelid primer, so we're gonna give this a try and see what it's like. It's like a peachy color. I've never tried this. It's sheer, so I'm not expecting it to cover a whole lot, so I'm just gonna blend this out. Yes, very sheer, nothing like my Anastasia one, which covers up the whole lid, any veins, any discoloration, it'll cover it up, where this does not. It does feel a little bit oily. If you have oily eyelids, I don't know if you're going to like that much. I also do have putty eye primer, which it's like kind of looks like a MAC Painterly paint pot, but I really didn't like this either. I felt like this was very oily like as well and didn't cover that much, and actually mine has already dried out, so we'll just stick to what we have. Well, it actually has dried down, so it doesn't feel as oily, but we'll see how the shadows go on. Set down, I'm going to take this e.l.f. powder, and it's, I think it's the Prime and Stay Finishing powder. I'm going to take this powder to set down primer because I don't want it to budge or make my shadows go on any weird or anything. Now that we're all prepped, I'm going to zoom you guys in a little bit so we can get into the eyes. Alright, so for eyeshadow, we're going to go in with the e.l.f. mini eyeshadow palettes. These are so good, you guys. I did a really pretty, like, cool tone eyeshadow look with this one, which is in Truffles, and this shade right here, the glitter shimmery shade, is amazing. It is so good. It's to die for. It is like the most perfect cool shade. It's so pretty on the lids, and especially if you have brown eyes, it really makes your brown eyes pop. I don't know what it is, but it's so good. Cream and Sugar, which is very pretty neutral shades, which is good for every day. And then a nice warm shade palette, which is in Pumpkin Pie. And then I also have the e.l.f. these little glitter shadows in Flirty Birdy. Really cute name. It's like a rose gold shade. They have a few other shades too, but this rose gold shade was just calling my name. I'm thinking we're gonna go in with these two palettes, Sugar and Cream and Pumpkin Pie. And then we'll go in with this. So first I'm gonna go in with the Cream and Sugar eyeshadow palette in this really light transition shade and just buff this all over. Really just blown out with a big fluffy brush. And this one is actually the Morphe times Jaclyn Hill JH30 brush. This is a huge blending brush. I love this. It's perfect for just an all over shade on the or transition shade. I'm just gonna buff this. It doesn't give a whole lot of color, but I feel like it just does something. I'm gonna go into the Pumpkin Pie palette and grab this first matte shade here and add that below the shade we just applied. And out so nicely. They are seriously the best eyeshadows at the drugstore. The mattes blend out so easily, so smooth and buttery, while the shimmers are amazing. Sometimes with shimmers at the drugstore, they do absolutely nothing, where these really give a really good pop. You hardly need any type of spray on your brush to intensify it. You don't even need it. You can do it, which will really intensify it. Back into the Cream and Sugar palette and grab that darkest shade here and apply that to the outer corner. And then just out here in the outer corner to give it some dimension. And these dark shades don't apply super duper pigmented. You definitely are able to build it, which I like. So right now I'm just going to blend this shade slightly into my crease. Now back into that blending brush with this shade here and buff it out here. I just grabbed a little bit because you don't need much. Go in with a shimmer shade just because I want to see what the shimmers are like in the Pumpkin Pie palette since I haven't used it. And then we'll go in on top with this. Go in with the bronzy shade here and apply that to the lid. Look how creamy. I don't know if you guys can see that, but look how creamy and how much product I got on the brush. That is insane. Oh my gosh, you guys. Do you see that pigment? That is the most perfect bronze. Oh, I love it. That is so pretty. I'm obsessed with these palettes. They're so good and they're like $3, I think. You just can't beat that. That is so pretty. Oh my gosh. Okay, now back into that dark shade just to blend out between the shimmer and the outer corner. So now let's go in with the Flirty Birdy glitter and apply that right on top. Oh, that's pretty. So pretty. I like the fact that these are not super pigmented. Like sometimes these glitter shadows have full-on pigment and glitter, where this one is more sheer, so you're able to add it on top of another shadow like I just did, and you can still see that shadow through it. So it's kind of just intensifying the whole look. That, you guys, is so pretty and so easy to use. And then I'm just going to go back and do the same thing, grab that dark shade and blend out so we don't have any harsh lines. And that shadow blended out so nicely. I didn't have to do anything. Sometimes these shadows will lock down and not move or budge when you go to blend out, and this worked so perfectly. Everything seemed to go really nicely on top of the eyeshadow primer, which I wasn't sure about. I'm gonna take a makeup wipe and just clean up the outer edges here. Okay, so we're gonna finish off the eyes, and I did get a mascara, which was the lash extending mascara, but e.l.f. also has lashes. And of course, I picked the winged in bold, so like the inner corner is a little bit shorter and it just wings out. I love that look. But first, we're gonna line our eyes with the Intense Ink eyeliner, and we're gonna see how, oh my gosh, this thing is huge. So we'll see how this works. I'm just going to line my eyes. Okay, so just off of doing that one eye, that eyeliner is not the easiest to use. It's really hard to go across. It's not just gliding on, so you really have to kind of like tug to get some color, but it is pretty precise because it's so thin. It just doesn't glide across. Now I'm hardly getting any color on the other eye. I don't like this liner at all. The other eye was hard because I felt like it was already like drying out to do this one, so I did what I could. We're gonna move along. So I didn't see any lash glue, so I'm just gonna go in with my eye glue premium strip lash adhesive. And we're gonna just apply the lash. Alright, what do you guys think? I don't think it's super bold, but so I relined the top here with my Wet n Wild eyeliner just because that liner is so hard to use. Not doing it again. I tight lined with my Milani Linked On Black eyeliner. And then I did go in with the mascara and blended my natural lashes with the false lashes. And this is what the wand looks like. I think it's gonna be pretty nice when I use it on my actual lashes. And I am gonna try to use this on my bottom lashes. But I think they look pretty and they are really comfortable. It was a little bit hard to get the inner corner to stay down, but I finally got it and I think they look good. So now we're gonna go in with complexion. I'm gonna go in with the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. This is not my favorite pore primer, but I mean, if you don't have really large pores, this may work for you. So, but I am gonna use it today and just press this into my pore areas. I feel like a lot of people like this primer, but for me, it just doesn't do enough, you know? It's not like I hate it. It just doesn't do enough for me. Primer I do love is the e.l.f. Jelly Pop Dew Primer. This is so nice. It leaves that good tacky feel, just like the Milk Hydro Grip. And it's so cooling. It's a really nice primer and it smells like watermelons. It's so nice. For foundation, e.l.f. doesn't have that many foundations, so they do have the Flawless Finish foundation, and I've never tried this before. It's oil-free satin finish, which is supposed to have. I got the shade Vanilla, which is described as light with golden undertones, but it looked pretty dark to be light. We're gonna give this a try. I'm just gonna apply it to my e.l.f. sponge here. Okay, the shade doesn't look too bad. I think it's gonna match me. Oh, I'm totally kidding. That is pretty light. Well, it's a good thing. We're gonna cream contour. It does have a little bit of a scent. Kind of smells perfumey. Okay, I'm starting to look ghostly. Like a medium coverage. But this shade is slightly too light for me, but we're gonna make it work. I feel like I look really light on camera than I do in person. Around here, I'm not really loving the way it looks. I can really see my pores here, but now I'm gonna cream contour. e.l.f. does have a cream contour palette, but that's been around for a while. I feel like a lot of people have probably already tried it, which it's not bad. But I wanted to try using their hydrating concealer as a contour, because you can use concealers as contours, and I absolutely love the hydrating concealer, so I figured why not give that a try. So I have it in Rich Cocoa. And we're going to do it very lightly because it is a pretty dark shade. I'm using my e.l.f. 103 brush. This is such a good cream contour brush. I love this. Okay, so a little goes a long way. Oh my gosh, I think I might have just ruined everything. All seriousness, I might have ruined everything. Okay, well, this one totally left. But that's okay. We are going to make it work. What we're going to do is now grab our sponge and blend this out. Alright, so now when I add concealer, it's going to be a little bit more cleaned up, but okay, I fixed it. We're better now. I was a little scared at first. I'm sure you guys were too. So since this foundation is a little bit lighter, I am going to go in with my e.l.f. 16-hour Camo Concealer in Medium Sand, just because it is lighter than my hydrating concealer. My hydrating concealer is in light beige. I think this is going to be too dark. So we're going to go in with this one. Apply this under the eyes. This concealer does dry pretty quick, so you have to be fast. If you have oily skin, this is going to be perfect for you because it is more of a mattifying concealer, but it lasts all day long. Too much time because this really does dry down quick. And I'm going to take some down here to clean that up. Take a concealer brush and get right here into the inner corners. I do have darkness in there, so I like to get into my inner corners. Then I take the large side and make sure I blend in everything together so we don't have any harsh lines anywhere. Okay guys, we're back. We're back in action. I was afraid at first. That worked out great with the concealer. Now, if you're going to use concealer, just use a little bit. I would probably recommend you putting it, if you're going to use a brush, put it on the brush and then tap some off, because I just went right in and then tried to blend it out, and you guys saw that looked crazy. With setting powder, e.l.f. only has the HD setting powder and then their Halo Glow powder. I still have this, but I did tell you guys that I don't like this powder, which I really don't. I don't feel like it does a whole lot. I don't think there's much glow to it. It's just kind of a powder. But I am going to use it today just to set the outside of my face, because why not? It's not going to really do a whole lot anyways. But to set my under eyes, I did not want to use the HD powder because that leaves a white cast, and I do not like those type of powders, so I don't have it. But I am going to use what I use to set my lids with, which is that Prime and Set setting powder. I'm going to use this to set my eyes with my sponge, and we're going to see how it looks. So I'm going to blend out any creasing that may have happened. I'm going to go directly with my sponge, tap some off, and set. And this shade is, I think, in light, fair light or light medium, something like that. Was not sure how that was going to look, but it actually is looking really pretty. Okay, good. That's awesome. That is not too bad at all. It really did make everything smooth and a little bit more matte. I like it. Now for the outside of the face, because I don't want my bronzer to skip or anything, I'm going to use the Halo Glow powder. They do have other shades now. This is in medium. I'm just going to grab my sponge and kind of set here on the outer parts of my face. Here are my temples. Okay, everything's not looking too bad. Now we're gonna move on to bronzer, and I have the e.l.f. bronzing palette. And after looking at it while using the mirror, these shades are super light. They are not gonna work for me. I already have a feeling, but I'm gonna give it a try and see. But do you guys see how light these shades are? And this is the only one they have. So I'm gonna give it a try. If not, I have something else. I have the e.l.f. what is this called? I think it's like the primer bronzer or something in Forever Sunkissed. I know this works for me, so we might have to use that. And with my stippling brush, and I'm gonna grab them all together and see. Okay, maybe it did a little something. Okay, no, I think it is giving me some color. And mixing them together does work. Not too bad. I thought it was gonna be too light, but it worked. Now I do want to clean this up, so I'm gonna go back into that Halo Glow powder. And we're just gonna try to clean up with this powder. See if it'll help a girl out, because I went ham on that bronzer. So now for blush, I'm gonna go in with the blush palette. And there's tons of pinks and one peachy color. They look really pretty. It looks like this one is shimmer and the 3 are mattes. These 2 here, and just blend them together and apply them to my cheeks. And we're gonna go ahead and dust this off. Now we'll grab these 2. Okay, so these are pigmented. You only need a little bit. I have a lot of kickback. I don't know if you can see that, but there is a lot of kickback. If you don't mind that, then it'll be fine, but there definitely is kickback. Now for highlight, I'm so excited. This palette looked so pretty. This palette is the Glow Gleam Beam palette. This is in light. Look how pretty that is. It has 2 shimmers, 1 glitter, and 3 metallics. So I think I want to go in with one of these. I'm thinking that one here. Maybe mix with that one. Just mixing these 2 together. Ooh. That is so pretty. Not much comes up on your brush, but as soon as you apply it, it applies so nicely. Yes, that's pretty. That is a pretty palette. Grab this shade right here in the middle and add that to the inner corners and see if that gives me a little bit of a pop. A little, slightly. I think it's going to be one of those buildable. Yeah, definitely not super intense. If you don't like an intense highlighter, these 2 shades might be perfect for you. e.l.f. as well doesn't have very many setting sprays, so I went with the Makeup Mist Inset, just the original. I think they had a matte and an illuminating, so I just went with the original, and we're gonna give this a try. The spray doesn't seem too bad. Not too bad. Good spray. Doesn't squirt at you or anything. Now we're going to finish off the eyes, and I'm just going to apply the same shades that I had in the crease here on the bottom. Okay, so I finished off my eyes. Now I just need to add mascara, and I did use the L'Oreal Infallible, this nude liner in my waterline. Now I'm going to go in with the lash extending mascara. I am praying this does not get on my skin. I do, of course, always prefer a more thinner brush for my lower lashes, but this does the job. Alright, that is good. My lashes look really long. And it didn't transfer onto my skin. And set the brows before I forget, because I always tend to forget. I don't know what it is, but this is like the one step sometimes I'll forget and say I'm about to go out the door and I'm like, oh, I didn't set my brows. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And I'm going to use the e.l.f. Wow Brow in Taupe. This I haven't used, but I've used it in another shade. And it was too dark, but I got Taupe, almost like a, kind of like a fiber type brow. It has like these little fibers inside and it really makes your brows look very volumized and adds that extra oomph to your brows, if you know what I mean. So now we're gonna go in with some lip products, and I have a few here. These are the satin, seriously satin lipsticks, a lip lacquer. This one is in Fantasy. Now I don't have a lip liner. That is something else that I did not have. So I'm gonna grab one. This is my go-to lip liner, which is the LA Girl Ultimate Intense Stay Auto Liner in Keep It Spicy. This is such a good lip liner. We're gonna go in this. These are so creamy. This is like my perfect nude shade. Okay, and then I think I'm actually gonna go in with both of these because this one is darker and this one's lighter. So the darker one, this is such a cute little tube. It's clear and you can see all the product. But this one is in Nectar, and we're gonna apply this. Ooh, pretty shade. Very creamy, comfortable. It's not matte, definitely satin like it says, but it's comfortable and I like that. Lighter shades, we're gonna add it right to the center in Creme. Oh yeah, mix those two together, you get a perfect nude. Yes. Now we're gonna try the e.l.f. lip lacquer in Fantasy. This will give us some glossy lips. Oh yeah, and this is comfortable, really comfortable. You don't feel those little glitters. Ooh, this reminds me of the plumping gloss, but without that plumping effect. This is so comfortable. What do you guys think? Ooh, I like that combo. Alright guys, so that is it for this video. Let's kind of go through and talk about the products and what I liked, what I don't like. So let's go in with I don't like, which is for sure this ink liner. Hard pass. Don't like this. Halo Glow, you guys know I don't really like this, but I mean, if you do, great, but this for me just does kind of nothing for me. The bronzer palette is okay. I mean, you don't absolutely need it. It's just alright. I wish they had another one that was a little bit deeper. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. The eye primer is not too bad if you don't want like a full-on, you know, color to where it's going to cover up your lid. This one might work perfectly because the shadows did blend really nice on top. I have nothing to complain about that. Only thing is I like a little more coverage to an eye primer, but this works. The mascara is something I'm going to have to keep on playing with, but it did do good for my bottom lashes. I just want to see how it does on my top lashes without falsies. And a makeup mist set, this is something I'm gonna have to keep using just because you don't really know how it's gonna work off of first time use. So I have to keep using it to see if it does make my makeup last. Everything else I liked. The foundation looks good. I don't think it looks too bad at all. It's a little bit light, but since I did went crazy with this cream contour, it did make everything darker, so it did help that I had that. But everything else I love. I like it. Nothing bad to say. So I think this was a hit. Like, there was only a few things. There was only one thing that I absolutely did not like. Alright guys, so that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give this video a thumbs up and I will see you in my next one. Bye.